and we are fresh off another Philadelphia Phillies win. They went into Colorado to Coors Field and beat the lowly Colorado Rockies 9-3 on Monday night to open up a 3-game series against the Rockies, who had just 8 wins coming in to Monday night. The Phillies, it was another comeback win for the Fightins. Great to see. Stop me if you heard that before. Another comeback win for the Phillies. They are now on a 4-game win streak, coming off their 3-game sweep of the Pirates back in South Philadelphia over the weekend. This is Phillies Daily. I'm your host, Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys subscribe for more all things Phillies content moving forward. And let's get this thing going today. So, let's first start with Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm catapulted that Phillies comeback in the 8th inning. The polarizing, some might say, third baseman Alec Bohm, who struggled mightily through the early parts of 2025, but now he is just looking like his normal self, his normal all-star self, Alec Bohm. He came up in the 8th inning after a very quiet day as a offense collectively for the Phillies against like I said, a struggling Rockies team. But Alec Bohm, he came up in the 8th in a 1-run game. The Phillies were down 3-2 at the time. They had a runner on. Alec Bohm came up and he absolutely crushed a home run to center field, 2-run home run for Alec Bohm to give the Phillies a 4-3 lead in the 8th inning. Bohm finished that game 2 for 5 against the Rockies in that 9-3 win. Like I said, it was 3-2 going into that 8th inning. They won 9-3. Alec Bohm was a big part of that. His average is now up to 260. Still not great. Still not what he's capable of. We've seen from Alec Bohm, but 260 is quite impressive considering how low it was at one point this year. He was as low as 150 not too long ago. So, Alec Bohm, keep on doing what you're doing. He is looking great right now, and he is a huge reason why the Phillies came back and got that huge come from behind victory against the Rockies to open up that series in Colorado. Alec Bohm, like I said, he catapulted that offensive outburst, I would say, against the Rockies. The Phillies, they were pretty cold throughout most of that game. Through 7 innings, they were down 3-2. They only had the 2 runs. They only had 1 extra base hit at the time through 7 innings. Only 8 hits. I mean, 8 hits isn't horrible. It's nothing to, be too mad about. But they scattered 8 hits across that 7 innings. Couldn't really get much done at the plate or push many runs across home, especially in a field like Coors Field where they're, the altitude. The ball usually flies over there. They're playing a bad Rockies team, bad pitching, and they just couldn't get anything really done at the plate or put anything together until later in that ball game. So through the first 7 innings, they were just not looking good. It was looking like it was going to be a very tough and brutal loss for the Phillies against, like I said, a team that had only 8 wins coming in to this series on Monday, starting against the Rockies. But then, all of a sudden, the 8th inning came for the Phillies. Like I told you before, Alec Bohm pretty much got it started with that 2-run home run to give them a 4-3 lead in that 8th. After that, Trey Turner came up. He had a 2 RBI double to give them 2 more runs to take a 6-3 lead in the 8th inning. And they ended up having 5 hits and 4 runs in that 8th inning alone after, like I said, just 8 hits and the 2 runs through the first 7 innings. And then they ended up, after only having those 8 hits and 2 runs through and 1 extra base hit through those first 7 innings, the Phillies finished the game with 17, count them, 17 hits. That is quite impressive in the final 2 innings of a baseball game to finish with that many hits. They had 6 extra base hits after only having 1 through the first 7 innings, and they obviously scored 9 runs against the Rockies. So 17 hits, 6 extra base hits, 9 runs after a really cold and quiet first 7 innings in that game. Great to see. Great comeback win again for the Phillies. You can't. It's hard to pick even a guy that would be the offensive player of the game, really. Alec Bohm obviously gave them that 2-run home run to take a 4-3 lead to start that 8th inning. Edmundo Sosa had a 4-hit game. He was 4 for 5 against the Rockies. His batting average is now up to 386 in 2025. He had a 2-run home run in the 9th inning against the Rockies to add to those 4 hits. 386 batting average is just crazy for anybody, especially for a guy that's not getting regular playing time. But when he gets his opportunities, he takes full advantage. He has a ton of multi-hit games this year, including today, obviously, with those 4 hits to start off that series against the Rockies. It's tough for bench guys to come in, like I said, and just have that much success just because they're not playing regularly. They're not getting as many as at-bats to stay fresh and in a groove at the plate. But Edmundo Sosa is having a heck of a year so far in 2025. 386 batting average. Now, after that game against the Rockies, 4 hits. Just can't say much good things, like many more good things about Edmundo Sosa right now. He is one of the hottest hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Definitely the Phillies' best bench option. And he really needs to get more playing time because you just can't have a guy sitting as much as he has been. And just, you can't be wasting that talent, can't be wasting that production. It's a tough situation for him, for manager Rob Thompson to go about because just how loaded and star-studded the Phillies lineup is. But Edmundo Sosa is having a great season. And to talk about one of those guys specific about that star-studded, just incredible lineup that the Phillies have, like I just mentioned a second ago, Kyle Schwarber hit a massive 466-foot Schwarbomb in that 9th inning against the Rockies. It was his 300th career home run for Kyle Schwarber. Absolutely launched it into right field. Just incredible strength, incredible power from one of the best power hitters and really one of the best overall hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Kyle Schwarber, the Schwarbarian. Congrats to you. Just incredible stuff out of him this year. He became the 163rd player in all of Major League Baseball history to reach that 300 home run milestone, and he is now the 11th active player to have 300 or more home runs. So again, congrats to Kyle Schwarber. That's not something to, he's got to celebrate that tonight because that's just incredible feat for him. Just great stuff. It is now his 16th home run in 2025. That ties him for the most in all of Major League Baseball with Los Angeles Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani. So he's right up there with the best of them. And we just expect nothing less from Kyle Schwarber. Just a great guy, easy guy to root for, and just awesome to see. 300 career home runs, and then just helped cap off a great comeback win for the Phillies against the Colorado Rockies to kick off this series there at Coors Field. Like I said, it wasn't looking good for a little while there. The Phillies offense was really cold through the first 7 innings. Christopher Sanchez, he was battling through he pitched really solid. He's one of the Phillies' better pitchers, one of the better pitchers in all of Major League Baseball, honestly. He kind of gutted out his performance today. He looked really good overall, but he did allow the Rockies had 6 hits total in that ball game. 3 of those hits were doubles. All 3 of those doubles came off of Christopher Sanchez before he was lifted from the game. 2 of the Rockies' 3 runs came from doubles, and then the other run came off of a solo home run in the first inning. All of them were off of Christopher Sanchez. 4 of the Rockies' 6 hits obviously were extra base hits, and it's not alarming, especially pitching at a ballpark like Coors Field with that altitude where the balls are just flying and anything can happen. So, like I said, overall, Christopher Sanchez, given the circumstances, pitched a great game. Just tough luck there. Great to see that he didn't have to be on the losing side of that game, that the Phillies were able to come back and have that big win because he pitched a really good game, and it would have been a shame for him to go down with a loss there. But he didn't, so the Phillies got a win. Huge win. Christopher Sanchez, great game. And now to stick with the pitching kind of aspect right now, obviously Jose Alvarado, one of the Phillies' high leverage guys, was suspended 80 games plus ineligibility for the playoffs if the Phillies are to make it that far for using performance enhancing drugs. He allegedly took weight loss supplements over the offseason to obviously try to lose weight. Who knows the truth behind that, but he will be suspended for 80 games and won't be able to pitch in the playoffs. He was having a pretty good year. Maybe it was because of that. I don't want to speculate too much or talk too much about it, honestly. But the Phillies will need somebody in the bullpen to either step up or a new face in the bullpen, especially a high-leverage guy, because they can't just rely on Matt Strahm, Ryan Kirkring, and Jordan Romano for the remainder of the season as their high-leverage guys. They need somebody that they have already to step up, like I said, or bring in a new face. And there are going to be, obviously, trade rumors swirling, especially as we get closer to the July trade deadline. But some guys that come to, in my initial thought, that would immediately help the Phillies in that late inning reliever role, and that have been linked to the Phillies in the past, are the Nationals' Kyle Finnegan. He seems to pitch every single day for the Nationals. Just a great player, great pitcher, great reliever. He's a 33-year-old right-hander. He was an all-star last year. He's got a 2.70 ERA and 14 saves so far in 2025, so he'd be a great option if they were to trade for him. The A's, Mason Miller. He's another guy, a 26-year-old right-hander, a bit younger than Kyle Finnegan, obviously. He was an all-star last year as well, but last year he's one of the best closers in all of Major League Baseball. This year, he's got a 4.50 ERA with 11 saves in 2025. The ERA is a little high, but he's obviously still one of the better closers, one of the better late-inning relievers out there. So if the A's are willing to trade him and the Phillies, aren't going to try to give up way too much for him and he's available, by all means, he's only 26-year-old. Great reliever. And then another guy who's been majorly linked with the Phillies last year and a lot this year, Ryan Helsley, the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals closer. He's a 30-year-old right-hander. He was an all-star last year and in 2022 for the Cardinals. He's got a 2.81 ERA and 9 saves this year in 2025. He's up there with the best of them. And if the Phillies don't want to go that route, trading for somebody, they could just look for internal options. Obviously, like I said, some guys already in the bullpen step up and take over a trusted high-leverage late-inning reliever role to go with Strahm, Kirkring, and Romano. Or maybe they just had somebody showcase for them on Sunday. The young kid, Mick Abel, had a heck of a MLB debut against Paul Skeens and the Pittsburgh Pirates on Sunday in that 1-0 win. He was obviously optioned to AAA after that start just because the Phillies have no room for him in the starting rotation. Aaron Nola will be back from injury. They already have Sanchez, Jesus Luzardo, Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, Taijuan Walker, who's now in the bullpen for the most part. He's a starter. They have Andrew Painter coming back from his Tommy John surgery. He's supposed to make his debut some point in July or this summer, and he'll be a mainstay in the Phillies rotation for a long, long time. So Mick Abel just simply doesn't have a spot in the Phillies rotation. But could he be a bullpen guy? Could he be trade bait to get one of these higher leverage, well-known all-star relievers? Maybe, who knows? He pitched a heck of a game. Like I said, he went 6 innings, allowed just 5 hits, 0 walks, 0 runs, and he had 9 strikeouts plus the win against the Pirates in his MLB debut on Sunday. Like I said, he's just a 23-year-old right-hander, 6'5". He was the Phillies' 2020 first-round pick. He's one of their top prospects, has been since he's been drafted, and he could take over a bullpen role if they need him. Or, like I said, he could be trade bait. He showcased, he went out there and he proved himself on Sunday. Obviously, extremely small sample size. He's been a heck of a year in AAA this year. Last year struggled, but the Phillies need options, and he gave it to them, really. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Phillies Daily. Great Phillies win against the Rockies as kick off that series. Huge offensive outburst. Great game by Christopher Sanchez. Hopefully, they keep it rolling. 4-game win streak now. Up there with the best of them in Major League Baseball record-wise. This was Phillies Daily. I'm Mike Hennelly. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe for more things, all things Philadelphia Phillies from yours truly, Mike Hennelly. And go Phils.